So these are some of the fertilizers that I use in my house plants on a daily basis. Hello and welcome to the Obel Coffee channel. Thank you guys so much for joining me on yet another video, and I'm very excited to bring this video to you because I am all about coffee, houseplants, and everything more. So I am loving this video today. And I think for me, since I've really been enjoying houseplants a lot more. I got really into houseplants in 2020, and I have just been loving on houseplants ever since. So I am always excited to incorporate houseplants into coffee videos because it's something that I'm passionate about, and I have spread out throughout this house, and I probably have a little bit more than I can handle. But I am loving it nonetheless because it really connects me to nature. It really lets me feel a part of community, even though it's, you know, just houseplants. It's something that I'm still very passionate about. So very happy to bring this video to you guys today and talk to you a little bit about what we're going to get into on this video. So let's dive in. But actually, before we dive in, don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, and leave some comments below. Let us know if these are the type of videos that you like, if you want some other videos, or if you have some great ideas on what you're using on your houseplants and what you want to talk about, whatever, just leave it down below and we'll be able to chat more about it. But thank you again for watching the videos, and don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. So this video is going to be talking about fertilizer. Okay, so it's, for me, I love creating and concocting and making my own things. I'm a DIY girl to the very end, and that's definitely probably because I get it from my parents, but I am a DIYer. So with that being said, I wanted to DIY my own fertilizer because, like I said before as well, I have, a lot of house plants, and it can get costly to oh, hi buddy. I have a lot of houseplants, and it can get costly to, buy fertilizer all the time and fertilize the plant. So I found some amazing ways on how to help that process. So I wanted to share that with you, and kind of some other things that I like to test things out and see if it works, and see how it flows or goes, or what it's supposed to do. So that's what I'll be doing today, is testing out this fertilizer. Because I want to just kind of get a little bit into, like, how do I best take care of this plant that's in this dome? And this plant right here is a Coffea Arabica, and that meaning Arabica coffee plant. And there's two types. There's Arabica and Robusta, and then there's different varieties and many different combinations thereof as well, but those are the two main types of coffee. So basically, this one is the Arabica coffee plant, and this is my first coffee plant, my baby, and my first and only coffee plant. But I definitely want to get some more, but I want to make sure that I know how to take care of this guy before I get any more, because coffee plants actually come from tropical areas or warmer climates. Even some places in California, you can grow coffee plants if we're talking about the U.S. But if we're talking about outside of the U.S., places like Indonesia or Colombia, Africa, Jamaica, those are all places where you can grow coffee plants. And so with that being said, it needs to be in a warm, humid environment in order for it to thrive. So hence this spherical dome that you see on this coffee plant. I like to actually keep this dome on here. You know, probably it's kind of filled up in here as well, so you can kind of see that the coffee plant is very much on the top here. And I like to keep it in the dome because that way it gives the humidity. It kind of traps it in there. It keeps the plant thriving and really happy. It makes it seem like it's in its environment that it's used to. So when I take off the dome, this dome I actually picked up at Marshall's, and it's a very simple dome. And when I pick this dome off, it basically then opens the plant up to the air and the natural environment. But what's happening with this plant is before I actually put the dome on it and thought about that I could use this dome for it, it was getting a lot of brown spots on the leaves, and it was very frustrating because I was thinking to myself, like, am I killing this plant? Am I not doing or giving it what it needs or what it's supposed to have? And, you know, am I not creating the correct environment for it? So I started to really think about those things and figure out what I can actually do to make sure that I create the best environment. So what I decided to do was kind of figure out what I could actually start doing. So the dome was one of the things that I wanted to start doing because it traps in that humidity. And once I put the dome on, I did realize that there were some new growth at the top that really started to love this plant, and the fact that it had all these little new growths. It was just like, yes, the dome is working. It's making the plant feel like it's in its environment, and it's really giving it that humidity and moisture that it needs. So as this plant starts to grow up higher and higher, this dome actually won't be able to cover it completely because it's just going to keep hitting the top. So what I am going to decide on, what I'm going to do is I might cut it back in order for it to kind of bush out and send some more shoots up so that it can grow into a larger, bigger plant down the line, because I do want to get some coffee cherries from this plant. That's the goal, and I'm hoping within, you know, a few years or so, as I up-pot this plant and as, you know, the roots continue to grow and it continues to thrive and survive, then I'll actually have to put it into a bigger pot, probably get a bigger dome in order to keep it alive, because I do live on the East Coast here. So it's not a tropical environment. I don't live in beautiful Jamaica where, you know, the weather is nice and the beaches are fine. So I live on the East Coast, and, you know, and I think the best part of learning about all this stuff and learning about coffee and plants and everything is the connectedness that you get with nature, and even just the people that where the plants originated from, or the origin of the plant. You get to kind of know a little bit about the people and the culture and where that plant thrives and survives. If you're a researcher like I am, where I want to know where did this plant come from and how can I best create that environment for the plant where it was before. So that's just me going down my researcher path. But to get back into the video is, you know, I do enjoy taking care of this plant, and I want to make sure that these leaves continue to stay green and blossom and not deteriorate because I'm not paying the right amount of attention or giving it the minerals and nutrients that it needs to be a healthy plant. So that's kind of what I wanted to show you guys today on how I plan to fertilize this plant. Also, if you guys are interested, we have on ovelcoffee.com, we have our Jamaica Blue Mountain coffee. And Jamaica Blue Mountain coffee, it actually grows in really high elevations in Jamaica, of course, and it is grown in a microclimate in the Blue Mountain regions of Jamaica. So it gets basically the perfect amount of sun, cloud cover, mist, humidity, rain. So it's such a wonderful plant and a wonderful beverage as well for your morning drink, your afternoon drink, low caffeine content, so you can consume it at night and it doesn't keep you up until the morning. So it's really nice, and if you're interested, definitely check us out at ovelcoffee.com and get your cup. Enjoy your cup with us. So let's get into this video a little more, because I'm like talking. I can talk all day. If you leave the camera on and I have the battery plugged in, I can talk all day, but that video is for another time. Today I want to talk to you more about the fertilizer that I'm going to create or concoct or DIY. So if you're interested, keep watching this video, because I want to talk to you more about fertilizing. So of course it is very important to fertilize your plants and to fertilize your house plants or fertilize your outdoor plants or whatever the case may be. It's very important to give your plants nutrients, especially if they're not planted in the ground and they're planted in a pot. Or in a container, or a bed it's not in the ground. You want to definitely make sure that you're giving your plants the right amount of nutrients that it needs in order for it to, thrive and continue to give you the either fruit or the lush green or anything like that you're looking from your houseplant. You have to fertilize, so that's very important. And I say that because in the beginning of my plant journey, I actually thought that plants only needed water to survive. I know, shame on me, but don't judge me. That's just kind of what I was thinking. But it's actually, they need a lot more than that, not just water. So this plant, I'm actually going to use some fertilizer. And when I say fertilizer, because I'm creating this fertilizer, but this is basically coffee grounds. And this is coffee that I made this morning, and I'm literally just going to use the grounds for it. And then I also have some spirulina powder, so I'm going to utilize this as well. And I also have here eggshells that I'm letting dry out so that I can create my fertilizer. So the reason why I have these three lined up to make my fertilizer, because they have the ingredients, or they have the nutrients inside of them naturally that plants like and love. Humans like and love. So, plants like them as well. So with your coffee grounds, you're going to get the nitrogen that your plant needs. So with the lush coffee grounds, you get nitrogen. And it's funny because you're going to put coffee in your coffee plant, but of course you can put coffee grounds in any house plant because it does love the nitrogen. And the nitrogen, it's nice because it's good for the foliage. You get some really great, beautiful green foliage when you give your plant nitrogen. So if your plant is not one to produce food or berries or cherries or anything like that, and you just want that lush green, definitely use more nitrogen to get that lush green. But on the other hand, if you are looking for phosphorus and you're looking for more fruit or more flowers, and you definitely want to give your plants more phosphorus. And I'm holding up the spirulina because it has phosphorus in it, so you'll be able to give your plant exactly what it needs to create this beautiful, lush food that it needs. And then here is calcium, potassium, also what your plant needs in order for it to thrive and really get the benefits that it really needs in order to be a really overall healthy plant. So these are just some of the three ingredients that I'm going to use when I create this coffee plant. These are the three ingredients that I'm going to use when I create the fertilizer for this coffee plant. So with that being said, I'm actually going to mix these together, grind down the eggshells, put some of the powder in there, put some of the coffee grounds in there, and I'm going to mix them together to make this fertilizer. And once I have this fertilizer, I'm either going to add water to it and let it sit for a few days, or I'm actually going to just grind it up into a powder form and extract the nutrients that way. So I'm going to think about kind of how I want to go about creating this fertilizer. I might go with the liquid fertilizer route because I can bottle it and just go in and put the fertilizer in as this plant needs it. But I do want to get berries down the line, so I'm going to put a little bit more spirulina in it than I will with the coffee grounds for the nitrogen. So again, coffee plants love nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. And you can also use for potassium banana peels as well. You can dehydrate the banana peels to get that potassium out of it. But the reason why I'm doing it this way is because I just want to use common household items to create this fertilizer. Sometimes you can easily just go out into the stores and grab a fertilizer, you know, one that's 1-1-1-1, or if you're looking for more berries or flowers, you'll get a 1-3-1, and then you'll be able to get more berries and flowers or fruit or whatever the case may be from your plants. And when I say 1-1-1, I'm referring to 1 part nitrogen, 1 part phosphorus, and 1 part potassium. And that's what that number is on the bottle of a fertilizer that you can use as well. So there's all different kinds of fertilizers. I can even grab some for you that I actually use for some of my household plants. So I do have fertilizers as well that I use. But I did want to create this fertilizer because, again, I am a DIYer, true and true. I love creating things and making things my own and really just finding other ways to do things versus just the regular stuff. And sometimes you're on a budget, and if you're on a budget and you're really watching your pennies and watching what you spend out and about, and this is such a great option for you because you don't have to spend so much on fertilizer. And it can get pretty pricey depending on how many plants you have and, you know, how much fertilizer you use, the summer months versus the winter months, so it can get pretty pricey. But I'm going to show you the fertilizers that I use outside of my own DIY mix. So these are some of the fertilizers that I use in my house plants on a daily basis, or not a daily basis, but a weekly basis, rotating on a weekly basis, rotating between houseplants. So I have the Miracle Grow Performance Organics, and this is it here. And this one has usually says on the front, so it says it's 11-3-8. So 11 for the nitrogen, 3 for the phosphorus, and then 8 for the potassium. And that's basically just the 11% is nitrogen, 3% is phosphorus or phosphate, it says here, and then there is 8% for the magnesium. I'm sorry, the potassium. Yes, 8% for the potassium. I had to find out where it was on here. But then there's another one. I also have an African violet, so I'll use the Espoma Organic Violet. And this is a plant fertilizer, and so it definitely helps promote flowering, and which is why I like to use this one, because I want my African violet to flower again. It flowered for me for a while and then it didn't flower anymore, so I haven't been using this as I should, but this one has a 3-1-1, which 3 for the phosphorus, phosphate it says. So it is phosphorus, maybe it's the same thing, but I'll let you know on the screen. But yeah, so it's a 3-1-1, so it's higher in the phosphate in order for it to produce more flowers. And then here I also have this Dr. Earth Pure Gold, and this is an all-purpose plant food for flowers, trees, containers, vegetables, herbs. This one is non-GMO certified or verified, but it is not organic. And this one is a 1-1-1. So basically, depending on which plant that I have, is the fertilizer that I'll use depending on what I need it for. So these are what I have here, but what I'm going to show you is how I'm going to create my my own fertilizer. So these are all store-bought fertilizers, places you can pick them up, or at you can pick them up at a Home Depot, a Lowe's, your own nursery nearby, so you can pick them up there. So I'm going to make a fertilizer, and I'm only going to use some of the eggs. I'm not going to use all of them, so just bear with me here. So I'm going to use actually just one eggshell, and I'm going to pour some water in here. This is not hot water. It is a kettle, but it's not hot water. And I'm actually just going to take a scoop of the grounds. See here, sprinkle that in. I probably should have had some sort of napkin with me. Let me grab grounds in there, and then I'm going to put some of the spirulina in here as well. I may add some other things in here, but I'll let you know if I did add anything in here. And literally, I'm eyeballing it because this is just a test for me. And yes, I'm testing out on my my coffee plant, but I feel like plants are just so resilient, and you know, it's not going to harm the plant. It's not going to harm the plant, so the plant will be just fine. So I'm actually going to put another eggshell in here, and you should really see how this looks. Oh, it looks so gross. So I am just cleaning off my hands because it definitely is very sticky and green, and there's a lot of mess here, but that's okay. So basically, this is my fertilizer. I'm gonna put it, I'm gonna cover it up so that it stays without any bugs or anything landing in here, any fruit flies, gnats, if you guys are familiar. I'm actually gonna put a little bit more water in here as well. And so just to give it that fermentation period, and then from there I'm actually going to put this liquid concoction into this plant, and I'll give you guys an update to let you know how it panned out and what it's looking like. I actually want to also give you an update on the potato that I planted inside of a Jamaica Blue Mountain burlap bag. So I'm excited to give you guys that update because that plant is still alive, it's still thriving, doing very well, it's growing. I had to cut it back a little bit because it was kind of growing a little more than I wanted it to, but this is the end. This is it. We're here. We have made this this concoction, and we're going to see if this fertilizer works, which I'm hoping that it does, because I would be excited to just kind of find out a little more and see how it works. And I just got to clean up a little bit. I'm like a see a mess, clean the mess freak when it comes to that, but whatever. I will clean later, but I'm just so excited to try this out and to share with you guys and let you guys know how it worked out, if it worked out. Did the plant collapse? Has the green, has the brown leaves come back, or have they gone away, or just kind of what happened? Because I want to just give you guys something that you can do that's easy at home, that you don't have to worry about going somewhere to buy something, which is fine to buy stuff because obviously, you know, buy the things that you need. But if you can recycle, upcycle, and, you know, really be a part of taking care of the earth, that's going to be super important, and it's going to be the best thing down the line for all of us. So here we are upcycling and creating fertilizer for our plants from just our common household items. So if you enjoyed this video, please share, comment, subscribe, like, and let us know how much you love our videos, or whatever you want to share with us, just let us know. Thank you guys so much for watching. We really appreciate it. And as we say at Oval Coffee, peace, love, and happiness. Bye.